Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to some more Let's Play Railway Empire. Standard disclaimers do apply. This is a pre-release press version. It is a sponsored video. Everything here might change between now and release. For all we know, it's going to be, I don't know, first-person shooter by the time it comes out. Okay, probably not, but you know what I'm saying. We did do one video already. We did sort of a quick introduction to the basics of the game. Here, I'm going to go and much more decisively try to play through one of the scenarios. Again, there is a campaign mode over here. It's actually a great sort of way to learn the game and to go through. It starts you off. I mean, all the features are there from the start, but the way it introduces them in each chapter one at a time sort of serves as a kind of a great kind of tutorial setup. And we've got the sandbox mode here, the free mode. I'm going to go into one of the scenarios over here. We're going to go into the West, and there are two times available on the West here. There's the Gold Rush in 1850 and the Pacific Coast in 1890. I think last time we did we just do like an East Coast free play in like 1830, I think? So we're going to be quite a bit later, a little bit more tech, more advanced trains, but the terrain out here is brutal. I mean, you've got the Rocky Mountains, and hell, they're not the only things out there. I mean, yeah, over here we have the Appalachians and stuff, but this is going to be a whole other crazy terrain. Not much in the way of plains, a little bit flatter in the south, so that's something to consider. So, Pacific Coast. The great Transcontinental Railroad lines have connected east and west between the old and the new states. However, the connections between the cities on the west of the continent are very patchy. The growing population and the economy need a reliable north-south connection in order to look ahead to the next century with confidence. So we do get to start in, oh no, right, because this is a scenario, I don't get to pick my city. In free play still automatically generates basically goals and scenarios for you, but you have a little bit more flexibility. You can start in more cities, you get to choose your starting city, choose how many competitors. Here we're going to be locked into 3 competitors. Last time we didn't play with any opponents. AI level is normal, hard, or very hard, and thus far I've had a hard time with normal, so we're going to leave it there. Railway network, again, you can have easy where you don't have to worry about collisions, trains just pass each other, or unrealistic, they don't pass each other, you've got to build sidings or double tracks, that sort of thing. Finally, there's this pause mode option over here, which I don't remember if it was in there last time I played, but the normal behavior is that the game pauses when you are building tracks, signals, buildings, that sort of thing, but otherwise you can't manually pause it. Now there's also a manual mode over here where we can pause anytime with the spacebar. It is considered a little easier, so you get a little bit less of a score in the end. And then there's Trainiac, where the game never ever pauses, other than a newspaper, which is a big full screen pop-up that opens up. The game never pauses. You get a bonus on your rating. I'm actually going to go to manual mode over here because I think there's going to be a lot of me kind of babbling about stuff, and it'll be a whole lot better if I can pause the game while I do that. So we're going to go ahead and accidentally double-click. That was my bad. I have very shaking fingers, and sometimes that happens. So we skipped the ability to choose our starting player. I feel like I should actually just go and re-demonstrate that. My apologies, folks. Yes, return to the main menu, please. Luckily, the game does load very quickly. Let's try that again. Pretend that didn't happen. We're going to go here. We're going to go to manual pause mode. I'm going to click only once. Thank you very much.
You found what you're looking for.
So, we got a variety of characters. I believe last time we took the guy who looked like that guy from Back to the Future, the scientist. I do like the general 10% cheaper track construction is actually awesome because track construction is probably the most expensive thing that you're going to do.
Don't ask questions
and a gangster here, he's really annoying to play against because he really likes to mess with your stuff.
Time is money.
Industrials, it is straight up just higher freight prices, not passenger and not mail, but all other kind of freight, and it's pretty useful.
Seriously considering these other things,
yeah, but
are you?
Oh, it's so hard to turn down more science. It's so hard to turn down more science. I love it so much. What else we got? With the lady, higher ticket prices for passengers. The trickster, discount on locomotives and auctions. Cheaper locomotives is good too because they get quite pricey, especially now we go into the later eras. The prices definitely do go up.
Strong leadership and discipline are
I have to play the engineer. I'm sorry. We have to play as Doc Murphy over here. Well, I could change it. Doc Quill. There we go. American Central, let's call this the Yub Tubs Corp Inc. Limited. There we go. I think I did something similar to that last time. So that's what we're going to be. We're going to be the Yub Tubs Corp Inc. Limited over here.
Plan.
Doc Quill, the engineer. Because we love science! Plus, I mean, then we get to unlock more cool stuff and look at the tech tree some more. And I mean, there's value in that, right? Exactly. So,
In recent years, we have built a Transcontinental Railroad. An impressive achievement.
a little voiceover here because we're in a scenario.
Connections between the cities in the west of the United States are still very patchy. To ensure that the growth doesn't slow down, we have to make everything more tightly integrated here too.
Thank you very much, buddy. All right. So, I did turn off the game hints that we were getting last time, which are very handy little pop-ups to remind you about stuff, and they're great for the first few playthroughs, but I think we can make do without it. I do like that I can pause here so I can babble on about things. So, our home city in this scenario is San Francisco. You can build unconnected rail to other towns. Like, there is actually the option of, say, if I wanted to... What did Kingman want? Do they have... So Kingman's got a meat industry over here where they turn cattle into meat. So if I wanted to build a line that can go from, say, the meat here to Kingman, that would be okay, even though it's not connected to my home. But then if I tried to sort of start another, like, unconnected piece of rail, it would be like, well, hold on. You got to make sure to connect Kingman to your home city before you go any further than that. So we really are incentivized to... This is our headquarters. We start with a station over here. This is us, which is excellent. All right, constructed by Doc Quill. Wonderful. So, of course, as we know, San Francisco is the capital of California, and we could go all the way down here to Los Angeles, the capital of California, to connect some rail there. That would be pretty good. We could go further north to, say, Redding or Gold Beach, of course, the capital of California over here, or even Portland, which, surprisingly, despite not being in California, is the capital of California. But I think I'm going to start off by building a little line between San Francisco and Sacramento? Never heard of it. And I think we'll probably start with that. Notice, however, I do have some opponents over here. You can see this orange line, which has already been set up. Look at this giant orange transcontinental line over here, set up all the way to Sacramento. Meanwhile, we've got the yellow lines over here. We can actually take a look. We didn't get to take a look at a lot of our competitors last time around, but we've got our 3 competitors over here. We can buy stock in their railroads over here, and our stock is also publicly available. Look, they're starting off with more value. We're definitely going to have a hard time in this particular scenario over here. Maybe I picked a bad one. I'm sure it's fine. So Los Angeles, San Diego, Yuma, Tucson, and then just sort of imagine, I guess it goes probably further east over here. And our final competitor is in the northwest, right? Connecting up to Portland and everything. Eugene, Portland, yeah. So we've got some opponents. I don't know, because this is a scenario, they might be playing my slightly different rule set than we are. I don't know if they expand or not. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at our goals over here. So we have a few tasks. Our first tasks over here, and we do have time limits for some of these things. Connect 5 rural businesses to your rail network. So rural businesses are not cities. They're things like this cattle farm, for example. Okay, got it. And you naturally want to do this. And especially the early ones do tend to be just stuff that, like, if you're doing well, these things will just happen. Although maybe not, in a certain time. What is it? It's 1891, so we have 1 year to connect 5 rural businesses over here. Achieve a quarterly revenue of $200,000 from freight. So not passengers and mail, but freight. Reach population of 120,000 San Francisco. This requires us to make sure to satisfy San Francisco's needs so that it grows consistently. Something we're probably going to want to do anyway because we are running trains in San Francisco. The bigger San Francisco is, the more demand for things it has, the more passengers it produces. It's a good thing. And then as we go forward, there's a north-south connection kind of goal, Portland to San Diego, move more people, have lots of trains, buy some of other people's shares, although we don't actually have to buy out the businesses, though conceivably we could do that. So I think, we will be behind on share price to start off with, but I think we're going to be okay, assuming I'm understanding what's going on here properly. We got the merge button, yeah, which is fun. You can buy out your whole opponents, but that's going to be all right. Okay, and we don't have any personnel waiting to be hired. Oh, we can take a look at our tech situation here. So we did start in 1890 over here. So we have access to the NYC American train, quite a lot better than the previous trains we've had. But we can go back and take a look at more of these techs. I mean, we have in a sense unlocked all of these trains, but they're sort of obsolete by this NYC American. And if we go back far enough, you can see like things are unavailable / available. A lot of these things are already unlocked. So we have access to refrigerator cars, mail cars, and so on and so forth. Assuming I'm understanding it correctly. We can see that we also have the ability to go back to 1870 and possibly get some more improvements back there that we might be interested in. cheaper locomotives, for example. And then, of course, here we can keep going down the middle track over here to unlock more powerful trains, as well as going off to the side. Well, here's another train here, for example, but here we get ventilated freight cars, increases the transportation fee per freight car by 20%. That's a lot of money. But hey, first we need some rail. So we've got our train station over in San Francisco. So I'm just going to go and build one in Sacramento. Now, my opponent is already there. One of my opponents. That is the lady. What's her name? I'm bad at remembering these people's names. Beatrix von Pump over here. So she'll probably be kind of snarky at me when I do go and plop down the train station in Sacramento. But hey, that's business. So I'm going to go and build. I'm going to start with the medium train station, but I certainly will be expecting to expand this. Now, train stations for cities have to be in the cities themselves. I'm going to go and rotate it. I'm going to set it back to back here with the other station. That way I can grow, because if I upgrade the station, it'll grow to the left, to the west over here. So we're going to have room.
Another station in this city really wasn't necessary.
Yeah, see, people get kind of snarky. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume there's going to be, in the long term, a lot of traffic between Sacramento and San Francisco. So what I'm going to do, I like it when it's not paused, but you still get to see the city alive. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. So I'm going to assume this number 2 platform here. Right, I'm going to say this is number 1 right now. Oh, actually says track 1. There we go. So track 2 over here. I'm going to have this one be sort of dedicated for San Francisco to Sacramento traffic. And that might include multiple trains. And so we may plan to have, like, you know, a double line between the two, although we don't need that quite yet. And same thing in San Francisco, I think track number 1 is going to be fine, because I'm not too worried about going from the north into San Francisco directly, and I know we're going to want the cattle over here, because San Francisco actually has a meat industry over here, so there's definitely demand. So I think that's going to be good. So we're going to go into track construction over here. So I'm going to use the number 1 line here, and I'm going to plug into the number 2 line of my station over here. Now, by default, and I think that of all the rail games I've played, I think I like the rail placement in this game the best. So by default, what the game does is it tries to minimize the curves, because curves slow down trains, and then after that it builds the appropriate sort of bridges and tunnels as needed. Now, I think here the price of this is quite expensive, $340,000. Well, almost all of it is going towards tunnels and bridges here. We're ending up with a tunnel right there and a bridge over there. It tries to keep the incline down to the middle. Here we have a constant 3% incline going uphill from San Francisco to Sacramento. I might want to save a little bit of money by avoiding this tunnel, for example. I could also potentially make this bridge shorter to save some more money, but I think that might be a little too rough. I'm going to see about adding a track point, right? Ooh, that actually went up in price, because bridges... Oh, I might have to just change my mind. So, I mean, I can do this and that, minimize the bridges. It's a lot cheaper, but we get a brutal incline here and here as well. You know what? I want to shift-click to remove these points. I may, in fact, just leave it be. 340,000 is a lot, especially if we're going to twin-track it. We might not twin-track it. What I might just do is get sidings before and after the tunnel over here. And that might have to be enough. Let's bite the bullet and hope that it's okay. At least it's nice and level. We got a tunnel, extra bridges, very, very level all the way. So the next thing we do have to do is we have to get a train going on. I'm going to set up the rail line first. I like to do that. We're going to go San Francisco to Sacramento. If I actually click on Sacramento, thank you very much. Automatic loading is fine. It'll just try to take the smartest kind of purchases when it can. We'll then add a locomotive. The only one we currently have access to right now is the NYC American, the first locomotive available in this era. It's not too shabby. It's certainly a lot better than what we were seeing in previous eras. It's also dirt cheap at 31 grand. Now, it doesn't have the greatest traction power, the 59% over here, and that's really what hurts if you have to do a lot of inclines. So this one really needs to be on flat ground to work properly. Its top speed's not bad. Passenger rating's good. Passengers do love this one. It's well suited to express because it's not as good at heavy loads. And we could have this thing specialized to express, but I think for now we're just going to go ahead and get that bad boy started. So I'm going to unpause at this point. We should see our train over here. It's picking up a lot of passengers because that's the most valuable load right now, which is great. So then I'll have to decide what to do for my second route. I might get the cattle into San Francisco, actually, because then we can get the meat going. Now, Sacramento also has a meat processor. Now, we might end up getting some meat there by itself, but I think what I'm going to do, and here's a cool thing, you can check the flow of goods. So already the cattle is kind of moving to these two places, you know, just overland. You can't see it on the map, but, you know, people are you know, I don't know, doing a, what do they call it when you get, like, the cowboys and they're driving the cattle drive? Yeah, it was right there. They're, you know, they're doing cattle drives into San Francisco and Sacramento or something, but we could do better than that. So I'm going to buy a small train station because there's no other rural stops nearby, so a small one's going to be fine. Now, unlike with the city, you can't have the train station actually in the thing, so you have to have it outside but reaching. I'm going to do something. I'm trying to figure out a nice kind of semi-level kind of setup. This might be, I think, maybe relatively well balanced. So this, I'm going to have it come into the number 2 track over here, and I'm probably going to use this number 2 track in San Francisco as sort of a freight delivery / pickup track, because it doesn't necessarily have to be as busy. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that. We'll set up a new train route. Now again, this guy here, this train...
Faster and faster all the time.
Thank you
That
very
has nothing to do with traveling in style.
Shush, shush. So we're going to get another train. Again, this one's well suited to express. It's not as good for heavy weights, but at least it's fairly level. We did leave the bridge in there, and that's going to be okay. I got an achievement called Lightning Flash. Interesting. So there you go. You've got a whole bunch of cattle, and you're going to deliver it into San Francisco. Now, the thing we could do is we could buy the meat industry in San Francisco over here. Ooh, that's not very expensive. You know what? I'm going to do it. It is going to start an auction, and someone else can bid on it. We're going to see... Oh, nope. Competition's getting involved. I'm going to try to buy it, because it should be a profitable business, because we're delivering goods. That'll be my last bid. 400,000. If we can't get it at that, I'll just have to leave it be. 450 from Trisha Jones. I mean, I could fight for it, but it's going to be alright. We're going to leave it there. These trains can both come in here, because they're coming into different things. So yeah, now we've got... there we go. Trisha Jones now owns this. Oh, someone's trying to buy the meat industry in Sacramento. I'm not going to be as concerned about buying that one. I'm going to let them fight it off, because I'm not planning on delivering to it directly. Although someone else might be. I don't know. Now, a couple of things we're missing. San Francisco, not the city, sorry, but my station. I should probably get a maintenance building over here to keep track of to keep up the trains. And I'm also going to put down some supply towers here, which refill sort of the boiler and the sand, and things like that. I'm going to put them both here, so both train routes have got access to it. I'm going to put another one over here, so that they can resupply before the journey on both trips. And these stations also count as having signals, so we can actually have more than one train sort of using the same platform, and they'll kind of intelligently wait here. It's not a thing yet, because our trains are on different tracks, but yeah. Now, is this still the same auction? Meat industry in Sacramento, it is. Now, this train is still busy with mail between the two. I suspect very strongly we can support a pair of trains between San Francisco and Sacramento. So I'm going to do that, but before I do, I'm going to need a siding here. So we're going to go and build a side track here, just long enough. It's a little tricky because of the bridges. There we go. Just long enough and maybe a little bit more so that trains can split. I guess this is going to be okay, actually, because they can double lane. We're not going to double up on the tunnel, because I think that'd be quite expensive. But we're going to do this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add signals. Now, I don't remember if this was in the last build and I just missed it, but you can actually set signals to be stop and change direction with just the mouse ahead of time. It does say it at the bottom of the screen. I probably just missed it completely. You don't have to put it down and then change it. So, for example, I want it going this way, and if I hold shift, I want it to force it to be a one-way directional signal. Force this to be a one-way track. Like that, and then the other way around, like that. And like that. So now, we can have trains going in two different directions here, so we can have two trains going between these two. Now, I'm probably going to want to, in fact, end up with another kind of siding on the other side of this bridge, or the other side of the tunnel, which might be a little tricksy to do, again, with the bridges here. Because what you need to do is, there you go, you got to get your switch before the bridge. And then you can run in parallel along the bridge, that's fine, but switching on bridges is a little insecure, I guess. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and get our signals. So the same thing, I'm going to want it blocking in that direction and that direction. And then way over here, we're going to get you that way and you that way. Okay, so now we have two different sidings, two different areas. There might be some occasional waiting to get through the tunnel, and at the other end, both of my San Francisco and Sacramento trains are going to use the same platform, so there might be a tiny bit of waiting, but I don't think it's going to be particularly important. Wow, that auction is getting really expensive. I'm okay with a bow out on that. So you're waiting for track clearance right now, because right now there's a conflict. They're both trying to use the same track over here. So, and this train just arrived, but it's going to be fine. If we go and bring it up to max speed so we can confirm, this train is now leaving, and then as soon as it's passed, because the supply towers count as switches, to a certain extent, there's sort of a chaining thing that goes on, but the trains are smart enough to go a little sooner than you think. Here we might wait until the tunnel is completely clear, and now it is, and he's past the other switch, so we're going to go. We might have been able to make that a little bit more flowy, but generally speaking, it's going to be okay. Here we're stopping for a little bit of supply. Oh, which I may want to put another signal in here because he's waiting kind of awkwardly, but that's going to be all right. Actually, what I should have done is put the supply stop in the middle of this or near one end of it, but that's going to be all right. So you're going to go there. You're waiting for that platform to clear. Hopefully these trains are still getting a lot of goods. Are you getting serviced? Oh, you're being serviced because I did set up the service station. And you're going to go, you're bringing a lot of mail out to Sacramento. Because Sacramento, remember, is connected to other things beyond. So this might be mail that's actually trying to go somewhere else in the end. And this train here, passengers, mail. Actually, was that passengers or mail? I think that was actually passengers over here. And yeah, it's passengers. But still, so from here they can connect out further east. So that's going to be a-okay. All right, I'm pleased with that. Let's take a look at San Francisco. It's not currently growing, which I would like. It needs grain, not to be confused with corn, although it does need corn as well. Grain and logs and beer and cloth are not being satisfied. Now, I don't think, yeah, there's not an extra slot over here. That's corn, which we could bring over to San Francisco, because it does want corn. It's being supplied, so it's going to grow by itself anyway. What about logging and grain? Burr? There's grain way over here. And in here, and as well as logging. Okay, what we might want to do is we might want to connect up Sacramento to Redding, and then make sure Redding is getting both the logs and the grain. And then we can have the trains that go between Redding and Sacramento will occasionally bring those. And if there's any left, they might bring some to San Francisco. It's not the ideal. We could end up doing some direct routes as well, which might be fine. But I think that might be what we have to do next. Oh, we have a personnel waiting. Oh, a stoker, which increases our speed. I'm going to hire you now. We'll get you on a train in a second. What happens if we ran south? We could go down all the way to Los Angeles just for passenger traffic as well. I don't know which way is the way we want to go. I think I'm going to go north to Redding. That's going to be okay. Sacramento, I think it might be a good idea. Oh, I will get a maintenance shed over here just for the other thing. We're going to expand the station as well. So it's a fair amount of money, but I think it's going to be okay. This second track, I'm going to use it as the Redding to Sacramento. I guess I forgot that I was only using one. I didn't actually need to upgrade you right away. I'm going to leave the track number 1 for the San Francisco stuff, though. So, oh, wait, hold on. Let's trash that. And build a station here first. That'll be a little easier. Let's build 2. Kind of over here. The idea being
reconsidering that decision.
One of the tracks, I think track number 2, is what I'm going to connect from Redding to Sacramento here. All right, so that's 1.3 million to build, but that's because it's building gigantic bridges. So we'll definitely have to go and massage this one a little bit. Try to build it as level as we can while discouraging these massive bridges and tunnels. Something like that. If you go and sort of scrooch up this hill a little faster. 2.7 or 279. 121. Incline is 0, 1%, 1%. Okay, 7% over here. This is quite the hill to get down to Sacramento. If I go and pull back on it... that we might have to accept this 5% incline over here. At least the rest of it is very level. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get down some supply stations or supply towers right away. I think we might want to make sure we've got some extras there. And then we're going to set up, we will set up a train now. There might not be that much demand for it right now. But the Reading to Sacramento train. And we may need to replace you with something that's a little bit better later on, but it's going to be okay. The Stoker does give us more reliability. We'll go ahead and assign this Stoker to this train. It's a fairly long route. And at least you've got plenty of passengers already, which is good. Which is very good. We've got a fair amount of money left over. Reading does have demand. It also produces beer. So getting grain here is actually going to be excellent. Really good. Okay, we're definitely going to get logs over there. That is a no-brainer, so let's get that done. So I'm going to use track number 2 to deliver both the logs and the grain. We're going to get a 9% incline no matter what, and that's with a tunnel. Ooh, that is rough. I'm wondering, actually, if it's worth leaving the tunnel in there. It's quite expensive. But we might have to accept it. The problem is just that this is simply uphill from Reading, and there's really no other way around it. I think I'm gonna take the hit. It hurts, but yeah. I'm gonna get a supply tower as far kind of up this way as I can, and I'm just gonna set up a train. And again, you can set up the train first. I don't know why I like doing the line first. It just feels more, I don't know, logical to me. So you're gonna deliver logs to Reading, which presumably has demand for logs. Yeah, I think every town does. So that should be a relatively profitable route. As is, and that's okay. But my real goal is to go all the way around to this grain, probably a really long route. And we'll probably need more money for that. Now, we can take out... Ooh, I got some tech available. Can't get the next rail until you've unlocked more things. And yeah, I don't actually have enough points for these yet. Again, I could go back, but I don't have enough points for these either. The Columbia adds an additional axle and for its first time allows roomy firebox and expansion combustion area. This results in significantly higher steam production. You can't get the full stats, though. Obviously, like, the higher freight per is excellent. Now, it talks about fruits and vegetables, so I guess it just covers those. Cattle car, that 20% more for cattle would be nice, because we are doing that. Fruits and vegetables we're not transporting right now. There is, very conveniently, both a fruit and a vegetable orchard over here. If we take a look at the flow of those, veggies aren't moving anywhere. I think demand for vegetables, as well as possibly demand for fruit, only happens when the towns grow. So right now, that will not be helpful. So we need to wait for either Sacramento or San Francisco to grow to the next level before we ship them there. We can double check, actually. 45,000 citizens requires veggies, and 50,000 requires fruit. So, yeah, that'll be the thing. Once these towns grow, then we're going to have, like, great routes over here to ship things. What is this? Random breakdown. Kind of an awkward spot, but that's just going to happen from time to time. You can improve that by having more reliable trains. Choo-choo! Okay. And yeah, there's still these trains that are going out east. All right, let's go and bring the speed up a little bit. I think that's going to be okay. I always worried that I'm going to miss too much, but it should be all right. So that's the Reading to Sacramento, and right over here. I'm sorry, are you carrying an empty load? Okay, not literally, but that's pretty bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, listen, when you're at Hall Forest, you're going to make sure... You're going to wait for a full load. Done. From now on. That should hopefully keep your operating costs a little bit lower. We will probably need a maintenance station over here in Reading, because a lot of others won't hit there. Okay, we can hire security guard, which... Oh... When selling used locomotives, depreciation is reduced. I don't know. I'll put in one bid and I won't care about it. Prevent bandit attacks on train and cause a 5% increase in freight prices. Let's go and get you. And what else is available? A reporter that I can use to trash someone else's business. Maybe I'll wait off. Breweries. That's expensive. I'm going to hold off on that. These people have a lot of money, but they had a lot of tracks set up ahead of time. Okay. I have some points. I could unlock the Columbia, which might be more powerful and useful for us, as well as leading us to some great upgrades here. Of course, we can sort of backtrack, but either way, I'm going to have to unlock a new train type. You know what? I will unlock the Columbia.
I would have chosen something far more exquisite.
Well, thank you very much, lady. Breweries did get sold. And yeah, with the guard, so let's go and this train here. And actually, I'm going to go and tell you as well, when you are at wood breeding, make sure that you fill up completely before you go. Thank you. And I will go and give you a security guard because you're clearly just transporting freight and that's going to be okay. All right. Okay, I don't think it had the instructions yet. But it was set on... hang on a sec. I mean, it's automatic over here. I wonder. Let's watch this for a second as it does the other course. Or we could check our wood one. I don't know if I have to, like, change the loading things away from automatic here. Are you here? Oh, and this guy's clearly waiting. Yes, okay. Oh, I might not have hit the check mark yet. Ooh. History is bad. History is bad. Yeah, so you're definitely waiting for a full load, and I think that's the way we want to go. So we got the high speed going on. It is 91. We had what was our task here? So presumably by the end of 91. We're very close to do that. Train loading, please wait. We may as well get the corn into San Francisco, actually. That'll be relatively cheap. They do want some. We should be able to make money. Can I get a train station? Oh, not quite. Do I want to build a large one here so it grabs both? It might be worthwhile. I'm going to say yes. And we're going to use just the innermost track is going to be fine here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it to connect. You will be using this track. Let me actually start from the other end. It might be a little easier to design this. Maybe. Well, I might need to move this supply station. Yeah, I think this supply station is in a bad place. I suppose, okay, I can just build it on the other side of the supply station, although it started to climb already. Which is not exactly ideal. 6% incline with a giant bridge. Speed's not important for this route, because it's just freight. 3 and 6. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to get an incline that's any less bad than that. At least if I do this, more of the inclines at the 3% than the 6%. Okay, it's not the... Oh, we still end up with a big expensive bridge. Oh, right around here. There we go. That looks like the minimal bridge. 83,000 bucks ain't bad. So the reason I was looking at the supply station is because, again, the supply station sort of has an implicit signal. Now, I could go... Yeah, I'd have to go all the way over here. I might just have to build an implicit signal over there. So let's do it. So I don't need a one-way blocking thing. So I don't need to shift, but I do need to do something like this, which controls the signal direction. So that will go and stop trains from going in here if it's busy. So trains will work. And right now this is okay because these signals, these areas aren't being used by anything else. So it's going to be okay. So we can get a train that goes from Parker Farm to here. It's just going to bring corn right now. We could set a priority. If there was an ability to use more than one track, we could set what track to use, but it's not the case. We will look into this Columbia. Now, you can see this Columbia is way better when it comes to attraction. It is slower, but it's going to be more consistent. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Columbia. What's the reliability? 93 versus 120. More maintenance requirements as well. Still, it's all incline. I'm going to go and invest in the more expensive one. I'm going to be okay with that. And yes, so if we close this, you will wait for a full load. You're bringing sugar. Does San Francisco want sugar? Oh, it does. Really? I guess it's big enough that it demands sugar. Oh, well then that's really great because it'll bring both sugar and corn from time to time. Oh, what a great little run then. That's going to be fairly profitable. Train loading, please wait. Yeah, it's taking a while. I mean, I could change that, but I don't think we want it to change. I think I'm kind of okay with it. But what I think we're going to do is we're going to put a cut in here. Technically, the sponsor thing is for one video, but I think I would really like to play through the entire scenario, and I think rather than make one giant mega video, I'm going to go ahead and just chop it up into bits. So we will put a cut in here. New research? Yes, what's this? Passenger ticket price. Seems like a no-brainer. Let's just get the higher ticket price for passengers. That's going to be all right. Plus, it's a cheap tech that we can get that helps move us towards the next train as well. I wonder if anything wants cotton. I don't think so. I think cotton has to go to a place with a clothing industry to make cloth, which every city does want. Oh, these guys do expand. They expanded to over here. Well, that's annoying. Dreamliner extends network. Yeah, they are growing despite having a mega head start, so we're going to be a little bit more sensitive to our time here. All right, yes, I'm going to put a cut in here. Thank you very much for watching. Hey, if you're new to the channel, do make sure to hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, check the link in the doobly-doo. We should have a playlist in there for the Railway Empire playlist. Thanks for watching. See you next time.